Some noise for Brandon Johnson! Mayor Brandon Johnson!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Chicago, how the heck are you? You know, they said this would never happen. So, you know, if they didn't know, now they know. There's so many people who are responsible for this moment, and I like to thank and take a second to thank those individuals. You know, but first, I want to make sure that I say this. The first thing that I want to say is to the Chicagoans who did not vote for me. Here's what I want you to know. Here's what I want you to know. That I care about you. I value you. And I want to hear from you. I want to work with you. And I'll be the mayor for you too.
Yes!
Because this campaign has always been about building a better, stronger, safer Chicago for all the people of Chicago. And when I say all the people, I mean all the people, especially folks who have ever been on a payment plan. So from Lincoln Park to Humboldt Park, from Jefferson Park to Garfield Park, there are so many people that made this possible. Of course, I want to thank my God. Aren't you glad, Chicago, that we serve a God who was at the beginning and the end?
Hallelujah.
And of course, to my family, my wife, Stacy, I love you, baby. To my 3 children, Owen, Ethan, and Braden. And of course, to HCII, SCIU 73, to the CTU, to the CCTU, to the IFT, the AFT, the UWF, because make no mistake about it, Chicago is a union town. I want to thank the board president, Tony Preckwinkle, the Attorney General, Kwame Raoul, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez, Congresswoman Jan Chakowski, Congressman Jonathan Jackson, and then, of course, the Congressman Danny K. Davis. But I also want to give a special thanks to someone who could not be here tonight. And we are praying for you. Congressman Garcia Chewy, we love you, brother. And to the over the 70 elected officials from across the country. But I also want to thank Paul Vallis for running for office, as difficult as it was. We want to thank you for your service, Paul. Chicago, tonight is just the beginning. With our voices and our votes, we have ushered in a new chapter in the history of our city. The truth is, the people have always worked for. Whether you wake up early to open the doors of your businesses, or teach middle school, or wear a badge to protect our streets, or nurse patients in need, or provide child care services, you have always worked for this city. And now Chicago will begin to work for its people, all the people. Because tonight is a gateway to a new future for our city. A city where you can thrive regardless of who you love or how much money you have in your bank account. A city that's truly for everyone by investing in what actually works to prevent crime. And that means youth employment, mental health centers, ensuring that law enforcement has the resources to solve and prevent crime. A city that actually respects the workers who keep it running and supports the entrepreneurs that keep it growing. A city where trains run on time and where no one is too poor to live in one of the richest cities, in one of the wealthiest nations at the richest time in the history of the world. A city where public schools have the resources to meet the needs of every child across this city. Now, in other words, tonight is the beginning of a Chicago that truly invests in all of its people. Now, you've heard me say this before, Chicago. Well, you're going to keep hearing it because the heart of this movement has always been about investing in people. I'll be honest, this is personal for me. Investing in people is at the heart of this campaign because I've seen what disinvestment looks like. I grew up in a household, but 10 of us, and if it weren't for Ed, we wouldn't be here today. A home with 1 bathroom and 4 sisters. Let me tell you, you learn to negotiate early in life. Always ally with your sisters. But it wasn't always easy for us. My father worked 2 and 3 jobs just to make sure life was a little better for us. But I know what it's like to come home and your water is not on. I know what it's like to come home and thank God for a long orange extension cord from your window to your neighbor's window. But I also know what it's like to teach in Cabrini Green, where my students can see one of the wealthiest neighborhoods from their back window, but out of their front windows, bulldozers stare them down, preparing to destroy their public housing. I know what I'm talking about when people rely upon public transportation, and because it is not reliable, people have lost their jobs because of an unreliable, unsafe transportation system. So when I talk about investing in people, I know what I'm talking about. And when I talk about this city feeling unsafe for so many, it's because as a husband, as a father, raising 3 children on the west side of Chicago, I've had to shield my children from bullets that fly right outside our front door. Or the student who looked me in the face, who said, Mr. Johnson, you shouldn't be teaching here. You should be teaching at a good school. For too many people in the city of Chicago, we recognize value, but for too many of us, we don't believe that we deserve it. That changes under a Johnson administration.